New Star Radio 98.7 FM. In myself, Smooth Fuego. Big shout out to everybody locked in all over Birmingham and all over the world. newstarradio.co.uk and 98.7 FM. Before I continue, I want to give you a brief rundown of the tracks which we just played. We played for you Shiesty, Wake Up, Age of Luna, Coco, TLC featuring Snoop Dogg, Way Back, Mac Wild's Crash, Afro B and Young Bay and Juice and Power, and you just heard a new one from Wizkid with Major Lazer, Naughty Ride. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our interview today. He's a guy who wanted you to let him love him. He's a guy who was getting over his breakup. He was a guy who you said was just a friend. You see, I've been working on that. I have Mario live on the phone. Mario, you there?
What's up, big bro?
What's up, man? You know,
it's about to go into a spoken word. Right
trust me. As they're going into a poem, a Mario poem. It's funny you say big bro, you know, because I just recently found out as well. I'm a couple of months older than you. Same year though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I brought that up, it's because it's crazy for me to say this now, but Mario, you know, you're actually like a vet now.
Man, it's actually surreal to me because I feel like every time I go in the studio, it's the first time doing a session. I've been here in London working on new music for the album Cosmos 17, and it's like I feel like it's my first album again, you know? So it's surreal to me.
Okay, now with this album, it had a name change as well because it was originally, was it Paradise Cove it was going to be called? It
was. Originally I was going to do an EP, and, you know, honestly I felt like I would be doing a disservice to my fans if I just give them 6 songs, you know? So I decided to, the sound of the album started to take on a whole other vibe, and so I decided to change the album to Cosmos 17 because it started to take on a more in-depth, more universal type of sound and content within the project.
Okay, because with Paradise Cove, the first name, it kind of went with this latest single as well because it had that type of island vibe to it.
Yeah, it went with Let Me Help You.
Yeah.
But the new album title I would say goes with Pain Is the New Pleasure, which is the single we just dropped.
Okay.
About 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Now, can for those who may not have heard of you, the few that are listening, could you tell them how you got started in the music industry?
Absolutely. I've been singing since I was about 4 years old. Started singing in church, talent shows, you know, around Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And then when I was 13, I got adopted by my first manager, and he introduced me to Clive Davis. And it pretty much was history from there. Clive Davis is responsible for the likes of Whitney Houston, Carlos Santana, Alicia Keys, so many other great artists. And, you know, I was actually one of the first artists to sign with him on J Records. And the rest is pretty much history. We did Just a Friend, which is my first single that came out. And then later on when I was 18, we released Let Me Love You and a few other big singles like Break Up, How Do I Breathe, Stuttering. And now I'm here on my independent doing with my own label, which is entitled New Citizen. And yeah, man, we off to the races with this new project. Definitely,
your catalog is ridiculous when you think about it. But why did you go the independent route?
Well, a lot of changes that happened at the label, and there were a lot of different, you know, new people coming in and mergers happening. So it was like kind of like a new family had came in. So it was time for me to move out the house a little bit. You know, a lot of things had changed, and you know, I was still like very, very close with, you know, the head of the label, and, you know, we decided that parting ways wouldn't be such a bad thing. So I started my own label, and I think nowadays having, you know, that independency, it really puts you in the driver's seat and also gives you a closer and much more in-depth relationship with your fans, you know, so you know exactly what they like, and they know exactly where you're going as an artist. There's no more red tape in between.
Definitely. And have you found, from when you started compared to now, everything is like, as an artist, you can do everything yourself, everything's DIY. Do you think it's easier to be an independent artist as it was back in the day?
Yes, I do. I do think it's easier. I think it's a lot easier, especially if you are hands-on and if you know, have a team that is like working collectively with you to curate an approach to releasing your music that works for the type of music you're making, you know?
Definitely. And you briefly touched on what happened with you being in the record label and how things have changed. A lot of now with the days of social media and everything, people only tend to see, say, the good stuff or like the good life and think it's just all fun and games. They don't see the hardship and things you've been through. You're a person as an artist. I won't go too deep into it because we're not going personal. We'll keep it more about the music. But even as you went through the documentary with the stuff which happened with your mum and everything, you've always shown that side to you. Do you feel that's important to show your friends, to show that you're also a human being yourself?
I really think it's about the type of artist you want to be perceived as, and the type of connection you want to have with your fans. Some artists just have that superstar, like, come to my shows, you know, you don't really know much about me, you just know like my music. And then other artists, like, you know, their music is a little more introspective and culture shifting. And to me, I want to be a more culture shifting artist and want to be perceived as a more culture shifting artist, you know. So that's why I've been so open about my life with my fans, and also that's why Pain is the New Pleasure. You know, I chose to make that the single for this particular project.
Definitely. But, you know, I'm going to have to ask you this question. I know everybody probably asked you this. Back when you started, like, R&B was at one of its peak times. But at the moment, it's not getting the recognition it deserves. Do you feel that's because of a lack of talent or a lack of attention?
I think that, you know, with the internet and everything that was happening, like, you know, music just became more urgent, and like, you know, it's much easier to put out hip-hop than it is R&B, because, you know, you can make a hip-hop song in 2 minutes that just has like a catchy, you know, top line, and it don't really have to be saying much, whereas the R&B people are expecting to hear something that's, you know, super introverted and like, you know, lyric and poetic, and it takes more time to curate that, and it has to sound good. Like, a person has to actually know how to sing, you know. But now it's like, you know, it's all about conditioning. If you can condition a certain, you know, city to something that's not conditioned outside of that city. It's the same thing with radio, is programming. So it's like, you know, you got to tune people into your frequency.
Definitely. That's a different perspective when I was expecting you to answer, though. Definitely. But I got to ask you one thing. You're over in the UK. Are there any UK artists that you're feeling at the moment?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, Tiny Temp is definitely classic over here. Wale, and who else? I think there's more producers that I actually been like checking out more so than, you know, just artists. But
definitely,
I will say that what's her name? AKA Twig, she's dope. But they're like, just in Europe alone, there are a lot of different artists. I've been listening to Seth DeLisa. She's pretty dope. I've been listening to a lot of different DJs, and actually Fam, the producer / artist who co-produced Pain is the New Pleasure with me, he's from Poland, you know. So I've been definitely reaching out across the pond to really pull together this and cultivate this sound.
Okay, now with Pain is the New Pleasure, now you kind of briefly described what it's about, so let's talk more about the album.
Yeah.
What can we expect to hear from the album? Because I know you've only got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to rush you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just like taking things to another level musically, you know, and really content-wise taking things to another level, listening to a lot of different types of music. Expect to hear different vibes on here. Expect to be taken on a journey sonically. I have a lot of favorites that I have so far, but then again, I'm not completely done the album. So, you know, it's an exciting time for me right now as I, you know, close out this chapter of the project and really get ready to deliver this body of work. But expect to also, you know, hear live music as well on it.
Definitely. Gonna ask you one last question as well. We have a lot of up and coming singwriters, rappers, singers, producers. What advice could you give them based on the things you've experienced?
Oh man, just really stay true to yourself. I think today is really about authenticity. Of course, making records that, you know, works, but really deciding the type of artist you want and trying to create a lane for yourself that's authentic to who you are.
Okay, well, that has been Mario. Thank you for spending time with us. Now, if you'd like to tell the New Star Radio listeners where they can keep up to date with you, all of your socials, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes links, everything.
Absolutely. You can get the iTunes link from my Instagram. It's Mario Worldwide. Snapchat is Mario Worldwide. Facebook.com/Mario. I'll be announcing tour dates. I'll be announcing release dates. And just stay tuned to your boy. Pain is the New Pleasure is available everywhere right now. Thank y'all for always tuning in. Shout out to all the fans, man, who's been sending in like messages after hearing the single and like really being like touched by it in different ways. But it's really motivating to me, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it.